Am I an evil witch for excluding my mother-in-law from my pregnancy announcement? I am 30 years old and my husband Dan, 34, has been struggling with fertility for 2 years. Dan has a daughter from his previous marriage, Kelly, who is 9 years old. I don't have any kids. Dan and Kelly stayed with his mom, Anna, while he went through his divorce, and until right before we bought a house and the week we got married. Anna can be very overbearing and makes the excuse that Dan is her only child, and Kelly is her only grandchild, so she has free reign. For example, after Dan and I had a miscarriage. Last year she called me yelling because Dan wouldn't answer his phone because he was upset. She said he needed her more than me, and I was in the way of them being together. Well, we got our rainbow baby, and we were overjoyed. I didn't tell him until I was 9 weeks, and we didn't tell anyone. During this time, Anna constantly made comments about my eating and excessive fatigue, saying that even his ex-wife didn't let herself go, and she actually had a baby. Some other hurtful comments were made under the guise of just saying what she saw, or being concerned for her only child having to marry again, because I'm not taking care. Myself, I told Dan that if she's going to be like that, I don't want her around. He agreed, saying he'll talk to her. Her behavior never changed towards me, and as I started showing, she made more weight comments. One day she got so far into my skin that I walked out of my house and sat in my car and cried and left shortly after, seeming flustered because Dan laid into her. I found out the gender in 19 weeks. I made a special way of telling Dan and Kelly the gender by making them do a scavenger hunt through the house. We explained to Kelly that it was a surprise and she had to keep it to herself and not tell anyone, including Anna. Since I don't live in the same city as my immediate family, I sent a box with a gender surprise back home and his family in his hometown. They video called when they received their box so we could see them open it. I didn't do anything for Anna, despite her living 20 minutes away. I was tired of her attitude, and Dan reluctantly agreed. My sister recorded the box opening at my grandparents' and posted it on social media, tagging me in it. Anna saw the post, and in 20 minutes was at our door screaming about how she was left out of finding out about her grandchild. She said I ruined her moment, and that my baby would grow to hate me because of this. What do you mean? I'm pretty sure they'd have literally no opinion of this whatsoever. Daniel explained it was her own fault for how she treated me the past few weeks. She replied that if she had known I was pregnant, she wouldn't have said anything. That doesn't make it better. You shouldn't be saying those things regardless. They told her that's not an excuse to be. She went on to call any of their family who would listen and talk down to me about it. His grandmother, who received a box, called and said, "We should have put our feelings aside even though Anna was wrong." The two sides of our families have mixed responses. Some said I should have done one anyway. Others agree with excluding her. I didn't feel wrong about it, but now I'm second-guessing myself. So am I the a-hole. When I went to take my maternity pictures, I had 2 sessions with 2 different photographers. One was one of those glamour shot photographers, and the other one was a friend who's amazing at outdoor shoots. Both were scheduled the same day. Because it's sometimes hard to work things in on me and Dan's conflicting work schedules, 3 or 4 days before the shoot.